Hey, everybody, what are they planning ahead of November? What threats are on the horizon? And also, a major scheme that is being hatched on the southern border. Keith Rose walks us through it all. Bishop Aubrey Shines also joins us to discuss DEI, Joy Reid, Christian nationalism, and Donald Trump's support in the black community. Become a member today to listen to all of our commentary and episodes advertiser-free. That is members.charliekirk.com, members.charliekirk.com. Email me, as always, directly, freedom@charliekirk.com. That's freedom@charliekirk.com. And subscribe to our podcast by opening up your podcast app and typing in Charlie Kirk Show. Buckle up, everybody. Here we go.
Charlie, what you've done is incredible here.
Maybe Charlie Kirk is on the college campus.
I want you to know we are lucky to have Charlie Kirk.
Charlie Kirk's running the White House, folks.
I want to thank Charlie. He's an incredible guy. His spirit, his love of this country. He's done an amazing job building one of the most powerful youth organizations ever created, Turning Point USA.
We will not embrace the ideas that have destroyed countries, destroyed lives, and we are going to fight for freedom on campuses across the country. That's why we are here. Noble Gold Investments is the official gold sponsor of the Charlie Kirk Show, a company that specializes in gold IRAs and physical delivery of precious metals. Learn how you could protect your wealth with Noble Gold Investments at noblegoldinvestments.com. That is noblegoldinvestments.com. It's where I buy all of my gold. Go to noblegoldinvestments.com. Very important topics that are unfolding here. Joining us now is Turning Point USA advisor, dear friend, fellow Real America's Voice host, Bishop Aubrey Shines, also author of 8 Questions About Race and host of America Shines with Aubrey Shines. Bishop, welcome back to the program.
Always good being with you, Charlie. Good to see you, my friend.
Thank you. So Bishop, I want to just get your thoughts here about Speaker Mike Johnson. Speaker Johnson has been letting a lot of people down. He is a self-described Christian. How should we think about this?
I think we should take it as it is. You know, anyone can call themselves Charlie anything. I'm not here to say that he's not whatever he believes. Perhaps he's a Christian. He's a very immature Christian, maybe even a carnal Christian. That term is much larger than the moment. I know this. He certainly does not replicate and really produce in my mind anything in the form of maturity. You and I both know this. Speaker Johnson had every right. Forget if even bringing it to the floor on all these subjects. He could have just stopped it in committee. We did not have to go down this rabbit hole. So when I hear about attributes of Christianity, that's good. The Christianity that a mature believer lives out is something called not being a coward. I see Johnson as a very cowardly man. I love his background, where he comes from, personal things he does. I certainly, Charlie, would not want to go to war with this guy. I would not want to be in the trenches. He may sell me out in order to capitulate with our enemies. I'm not interested. I think we should get rid of him.
And let's dive deeper, though. In Christianity, we are not given a spirit of fear, but that of a sound mind. And so we have nothing to be fearful except God Almighty. Bishop.
Right. Well, not only go further, Charlie, if we were to go, for instance, to John, to all the Christians that are viewing John out on an island there, Patmos. He's the one who described the people that would be separated from God. I'm not saying this with Johnson, but one of the terms was being a coward. We're seeing a cowardly act by, I'm sure, a very integritous man in some regard. But for him to sell us out, for him not to fight, for him not to take up his spear and put on his shield and put on his boots and go into battle. Hey, if we lose, we lose. But for God's sake, Speaker Johnson, fight. Because once you name the name of Christ, now you have a heavenly host of others that have given their soul, their lives for what they believe in. I'm not seeing that, Charlie, out of Speaker Johnson. I just think we can do better. I am with Marjorie. I'm with others that say, let's vacate this spot. Let's get someone in there that will champion the cause of all Americans. Johnson is not the man for it. I don't think he has, Charlie, the fortitude.
So Bishop, I want to now play this tape here of a topic that you are outspoken against, which is DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion. You and I both hate what is happening to our president, and we want to see a restoration of this beautiful country. Our president is basically in court house arrest right now in New York. Joy Reid goes on MSNBC and introduces race into this topic where we otherwise would never have thought. I want you to listen to this. It's a longer piece of tape and react to it. I did not look at race at all when it comes to Alvin Bragg, Letitia James, but she all of a sudden says this right here is poetic. It is DEI at its finest. Play cut 71.
There is something wonderfully poetic about the fact that despite the fact that even if convicted, he's not going to go to prison, the first person to actually criminally prosecute Donald Trump is a black Harvard grad, the very kind of person that his former staff, the people who worked for him, Stephen Miller, et cetera, want to never be at Harvard Law School. But he was. And he came out and graduated, and he's prosecuting you, Donald. And a black woman is doing that same exact thing in Georgia. And a black woman forced you to pay a $175 million fine that's out now also in question because the people who put it up, that might not be legit. Donald Trump is being held to account by the very multicultural, multiracial democracy that he's trying to dismantle. And for me, there's something poetic and actually wonderful about that. It says something good about our country that we're still capable of having that happen. Go DEI. My DEIs are bringing it home on today.
No reaction.
Wow. Oh, man, I have a lot of reaction. Charlie, I hope you have 30 days. I'll condense it, my friend.
We have 4.5 minutes. Take all of it.
Hey, well, listen, let's talk about Joy Reid and her moronic behavior here. First of all, it's asinine to make color an issue. The very things that Dr. King and others made sure that we had a biblical worldview on, and that is not to judge a person by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. What she did not mention, Charlie, was that Bragg's and Fulton County DA, Fani as well, they're also Marxists supported by George Soros. Why didn't she share with us that whole ideology, by the way, something my grandfather fought World War II for, gave his life for, to make sure that we would not become Marxists. These are the individuals that are bankrolled by Marxists. Well, who are they? They're anti-family. This is why people like Joy Reid and others have no problem saying to our audience, it's okay for your kids to read a book. And forgive me for the language. I saw the show itself. Make sure that there are sexual apparatus that are put on against little kids, the same Joy Reid. So while she's talking about race, this has nothing to do about race. By the way, Joy, Donald Trump has the support of over 18% of blacks in America. And that number is growing exponentially. Why? Because we're not dealing with the race. We're dealing with a failed president. We're dealing with a Biden administration that's supported by the water carriers like Joy Reid. And these are people that should be regurgitated, both black, white, brown alike. Joy Reid is a joke. And until we come together and make sure that we are saying that she is a buffoon that is paid millions of dollars by the legacy media to keep race alive, she doesn't and should not warrant our response other than we denounce Joy Reid. We denounce what she's doing. She's a race baiter. And I just think, Charlie, we can do better.
Yeah. And so where does this idea of DEI come from? And not just from the academy, but why she feels the need to introduce it into the criminal trials where no one is making this about race and she wants it to be about race. Is there some sort of hatred of Donald Trump or whites at the core of this? You have to speculate, Bishop.
Well, it's bigger than that, Charlie. I certainly agree with you, but it's bigger than that in this regard. This is about principle. This is about ethics. This is something that the Democratic Party has never had. Remember, the same party that did not go for the 13th, 14th Amendment that allowed blacks to even vote, this is the party that she still belongs to. This is the same party that gave you KKK laws. They gave you Jim Crow laws. They gave you everything that is anti-American. So what do? Blame the white guy. You mean the same white guy that signs her check? The same white guys that Malcolm X once warned and said, look, every 4 years, and they're going to use entertainers. That's what Malcolm said, people like Joy Reid to get their message across. This should not be about race. It is. And how do we know it? Because if this was a black man, Donald Trump was black, and he was being prosecuted by a bunch of people that hated black people, let's say if they were from, Alabama, they would all be decrying this moment, saying he can't get a fair trial. He's surrounded by people that hate him. After all, Donald Trump is black. These are individuals, Joy Reid and others, they hate Christianity. They hate America. This is why, Charlie, we do the work we do. We're exposing them for being anti-heterosexual, normative-driven people. Charlie, we can do better.
Okay, Kirk fans, I need you to stop and pay attention to this. If you deal with exhaustion, brain fog, mood swings, or food cravings, if you're constantly getting sick or simply lack the zeal you used to have in life, then I have some news for you. A while back, I found a liquid supplement called Strong Cell, and it changed my health in a very profound way. I take it every single day. Look, I knew I had to partner with them. I did the research, Google, and look up online what happens when you mix NADH with CoQ10 and marine collagen. It's simple. Every area of your body has cells, so if your cells are healthier, then you will also be healthier. You don't have to take my word for it. Listen to one of these testimonials. After taking Strong Cell for 6 weeks, I found improvement in many areas, less shoulder pain, improved mental clarity, increased natural energy, and so much more. I'm thankful that Charlie Kirk recommended this to his listeners. Rebecca says, I absolutely love Strong Cell. At first, I didn't think it would make much of a difference for my chronic fatigue, depression, and anxiety, but I thought I'd give it a chance. I've tried to find depression meds for 10 years, and since you Strong Cell, I'm feeling better than I ever have on depression medication. Customer for life. Thank you, Charlie Kirk, for recommending this product. So there it is. You've heard from me directly and some of the users who have seen their lives changed by Strong Cell. I personally recommend taking it every day for at least 30 days. I take it every day before I go on the air, and it's helped me in more ways than I can even name. Each of our bodies is very different, so I would recommend you give the supplement at least 2 to 3 months to see the changes in your body. Go to strongcell.com and learn more for yourself. That's strongcell.com/Charlie. And don't forget to use discount code Charlie at checkout to get your special 20% discount for Kirk listeners. Or you can call 888-596-0155 to order over the phone. That is 888-596-0155. Or visit strongcell.com/Charlie. Bishop, there is a new narrative about Christian nationalism. How would you respond if you are called a Christian nationalist?
Oh, my God, I would take it as probably, Charlie, one of the greatest compliments known to, again, my influence should just be that. I believe in the Judeo-Christian ethos that found this nation. So for me to some kind of way advocate that position simply because somebody doesn't like what I believe in is ridiculous. Those were the tenets that helped us in slavery. Those were the tenets that made us who we are. So my influence should be represented through representatives, senators, etc., and my vote for president to make sure that Christian views, after all, historically speaking, wherever Christianity thrives, a nation actually does very well. That's just not a biblical narrative. That's something we could see lived out throughout history. So to be called a Christian nationalist simply means I do not divorce my Christian principles while I'm in the workplace or in the political arena. So kudos to everyone out there that would call me that. If it's a negative, you probably need to do a little more research. It's a great thing to be called a Christian nationalist.
So do you think that we should embrace the term as a movement? Because they're trying to use it as a smear and a slander against us.
Well, the only reason they're trying to use it, Charlie, is because it's working. Because people don't want to see our sons and daughters chemically castrated. Why? We believe in a biblical principle that let kids be kids. They don't want us to, quote, keep the majority of our money. Why? It's a biblical principle. And that is, if you work, you should be able to keep what you work for. Those are biblical tenets that are just lived out in our politics. After all, that is how this nation was formed, from founders that had a overall reaching aspect as related to their Christianity when they said that all men are created equal in the eyes of God. God is the one who endowed us with this. That was a Christian nationalist perspective. And if they're trying to get us away from it, then we should run quicker to it. It's something that all of us who believe in Christ, practice Christianity, we should continue to do. They are afraid of it because it doesn't work in their politics. It works for us as we take this country back.
Donald Trump right now is, as I mentioned, in kind of court and house and home arrest. You said he's doing better with black voters. Can you speak to that? What issues particularly are speaking and helping with Donald Trump in black America? And what can he do to do even better now till November?
I think he could do several things better, but I'll go to the former first. One, he's winning because, it's just like when we study science. Why is darkness there? Well, it's an absence of light. Well, the same principle is true now that we've had years of, and I don't know what your position is, Charlie, is my position. I believe the election was stolen. I have a myriad of reasons and data to prove it. So what have we seen with Joe Biden and this Marxist regime? Black Americans are no different than white Americans. And that is, we want to be able to educate our kids. We want to make sure that our kids are not being forced to have this deluge of wokeism. We don't believe in anything other than meritocracy. We believe that if I do a good job, I should be rewarded. We don't believe that we should be in unending wars. These are things that all Americans, whether you're black, white, or the color of Shrek, for God's sake, we want the same thing that others want. And that is, we want peace. We want our Constitution to be lived out. We want to be able to have our voices heard everywhere we go. Donald Trump is registering there because people are seeing it, and black and brown people realize we're not doing well in this nation with Joe Biden and the Obamaites controlling Joe Biden. We can do better. Let's get rid of this whole regime, and let's get Donald Trump back in here. I think that's what Donald's doing, Charlie.
And you've got to know him very well, and you've been a huge defender and promoter of his. Bishop, it's remarkable how he continues to fight under historic opposition and pressure. It really is remarkable.
It is scary. We got to pray for this guy. I can't personally even imagine someone going through every single day, everything that was charged against them, the Russia hoax. We know the Hillarys and everyone else that was behind it, the Department of Justice. This guy is just nonstop. I really believe that we all should pray for this guy, and not just him. For Melania, his family as well, they're under tremendous attack. I think together, forget about the color crap, I think together as Americans, I think we can pull this out. And this is why I personally stand with Donald Trump for that reason.
Bishop, thank you for your leadership. Thank you for your wonderful counsel and advice as always. And we'll have you on again soon. Thank you so much.
Look forward to it, Charlie. Have a good day, my friend.
Thank you.